Hello and welcome everybody to the Gen X Dad and his Gen Z Teens podcast. This is a program that takes a lighthearted look at generational differences about all sorts of topics. We try to explore everything from pop culture to history to relationships to politics, but only at a very, low level. We don't aim to be the controversial or be the authoritative voice on any topic. We are not social scientists, nor are we scientists of any sort for that matter. We're just here to talk about things that we think are interesting and that we'll have fun talking about. Today, our topic is going to be photography and pictures because I actually broke out one of my old photo albums that I had growing up, and it really it made me see the differences now versus how it was growing up. We have a couple of little photo journals or some Shutterfly stuff that we made of pictures, but we really don't have physical photo albums anymore for my teens like we did for me when I was growing up, or a lot of us, our parents. And I think that we are missing something with that. It is incredibly nice and useful having our cameras built into our phones nowadays. But I think we've lost something because I remember growing up, I used to love to break out my photo albums and take a look at pictures. And I don't think my boys look at a lot of their pictures from the past, and we'll talk about that in a minute. And I think there's something lost in that. I think there's opportunities to remember very good times, and also things that maybe they don't remember that well, or be reminded of things that they may have forgotten. And I've always enjoyed that. We actually broke out a couple of photo albums not too long ago to show the boys about me and my wife and before we were married. And so let them see some stuff when we were in our late teens, early 20s to mid 20s. And I actually think they had a pretty good time looking at some of those. But I do remember the transition. I can distinctly remember a conversation when digital basically took over from film. And I was in Pensacola, Florida for some training, and out at a nightclub bar. And this one particular person I was talking to was a professional photographer and saying that, in a sense, the Rubicon had just been crossed. There was digital cameras that were 4 megapixels or better that were being sold to people, and that was the magic number, that it was now better than film. And so that has changed the whole photography business and things like that. And, for a while, I think my last digital camera that I bought, at least probably 20 years ago. You just don't buy cameras anymore because, again, it has it in our phones. But I think something is taken away. It was always exciting to go to the pharmacy or whatever and get your pictures developed, or Walmart, and the fun of looking at how they turned out. When you didn't know that, when there was back with 35 millimeter film or flash photography type stuff. And I just think we thought about it a little bit more than we do now. And I also want to explore with the teens as far as, are pictures now made for us and posterity and things that we'll remember? Are we constantly trying to think about, if this will look good on social media or not? So with that, let's start out with just, a generalization. You saw my photo album. You guys have seen my photo albums. What did you guys think? And is that something that surprised you, or just what do you think about taking pictures in general? Who are they for?
I think for the most part, pictures are still kind of for yourself, for your own memories. There's you can take pictures to post on social media too. But that's just kind of an extra thing, I think. And, you mentioned like looking back through like old pictures and old photo albums and stuff. And I think to a degree, a lot of people still do that. It's just now done on their phones rather than pulling out an actual photo album. You can just go in your Photos app and scroll up a bunch and kind of look through some old stuff. So I think in that way, it's a lot easier, and it's certainly a lot easier to capture, moments and stuff right as they're happening because you don't have to whip a camera out. You can just pull your phone up, and it's a lot easier because all your pictures are in one place, and all it takes is a few scrolls, and everything's time stamped and date stamped and location and has all of that. So it's really easy to look back on stuff and capture moments.
Okay. And while you might agree with most of what he said, I mean, how do you find yourself? When do you take pictures mostly?
I mainly take pictures when we're out like on vacation or we're doing something, and just if something looks interesting or something interesting is happening, I'll like take a picture of it or take a video of it.
Okay. Look, there is no doubt that all of us having our cameras built into our phones, especially with the video function, things like that is much more convenient. And then again, the software does make it easier now to sort, and it gives you a lot of, I remember, my mom beating into me like, hey, write down the information about the picture right now, otherwise you will forget, which again, you will forget at some point. But now it captures a lot of the dates, the times. You've got to put names in, but you can tag people at the time. So, the amount of technology and how it lets you organize is so much better. But I just wonder, between the privacy concerns, because we tend to then post pictures or put them out. That is a great way to share them. But I think some people may be deterred from taking pictures due to privacy concerns. Is that something that concerns you guys? Do you think about that at all?
Not really at all, because it's only really a concern if you then decide to post something. But for the most part, especially if you're using your whatever phone's camera app and their photo app, I don't really have any concerns of those pictures going anywhere, especially because I have mine set to just be stored on my phone itself rather than in any sort of like server or something like that.
All right, what about you?
No, kind of like what he said. Nothing I really take pictures of I'm going to post, which is the only way or reason it could leak anything about me. Otherwise, just get saved on my phone.
No, I get that. Now, with that, do you normally then save them somewhere else, or you just rely on the fact that they'll be on the hard drive and then, I guess, the cloud?
Yeah, I just rely on that.
That is a nice backup, because now I do download our pictures, or the pictures that I take, onto a separate hard drive, and then I try to organize them, because one day I'm going to give you guys a disc or something with all your baby pictures and whatnot, so you have something to do with that. But I do find it strange. Again, you guys have never really carried around a traditional camera. There was just something when you had one in your hand, like, I'm going to use the whole roll of film, like tonight. And I think it encouraged you to take more pictures and do more things than you do now when you have it right at your fingertip. Because, I look at some of the pictures and things like that, and I don't think you guys take actually as many pictures as we did growing up. When you're out and about, how do you think about taking pictures? Is it all spontaneous, or do you ever kind of go out with, hey, I'm going to take some pictures tonight, and kind of have something in your mind where you're going to do that?
I think usually it's spontaneous, just kind of, whatever in the moment kind of type stuff a lot. So, yeah, but I think, it's because of how much easier it is. I think people, especially when they tend to take a lot more pictures than they used to, especially to post them on social media and stuff like that. So, yeah.
All right, what about you? Do you think, or consciously think, I'm going to go out here tonight and I'm going to take pictures?
No, not really. For me, like, I don't really take that many pictures, and if I do, it's more normally because something interesting or something cool is there, and it's easy to just pull out your phone. There's like a little button on the bottom right on the lock screen. Just hit that and take a picture or something.
Nope, and that's all fair. I don't think I take as many pictures as I did, and I'm consciously trying to think of times when I'm with you guys, like, hey, would try to remember to take some pictures because, the moment, once it's gone, it's gone. And it is fun to look back and remember at some of the things. And you guys got a pretty good laugh over some of the pictures that we had from just various things of your mom and I growing up. And so, again, I enjoy still photo albums. You guys, haven't really grown up with that. But do you see a time where at some point you'll want to organize these things into a better set way?
Probably not, just because they're kind of already organized. There's not really much I have to do. The phone kind of does a lot for you already. And it'll auto-create albums for, like vacations or, moments with certain people and stuff like that. So there's not really, at this point, anything you really need to do yourself. It kind of is just done all automatically.
All right. Any last thoughts from you?
Nope.
Solid contribution as ever. All right. So with that, yeah, it is a big difference for those of us in Gen X, or even if there's any boomers listening, how just the way we think about photographs, the way we think about photography, and the way that we take the pictures now. I'm still not completely sold. Some people are better than, just like there's always people that are better at one thing than others. Some people are much better at capturing moments and thinking about it and getting those out there than others. I tend to have sort of a stereotype that everybody in Gen Z, if they decide to take a picture, it's all in the context of thinking how it's going to look on Instagram or something like that. I'm happy to hear that that's, at least for you guys, not a priority that you're worried about. The privacy concerns are also pretty high. I'm glad to hear that to some degree you're thinking about photos as your own and not part of, your social media presence. I think that is starting to be overblown and not a really healthy way to think about how pictures and images would. Oh, the filters. That's one last thing. Snapchat was really the first one to come out with the silly filters. I know that was a big thing for a while. Do you think much about that? I don't see a lot of that as much anymore, but is that still something that people do a lot of, is all the crazy filters?
Nah, no one really uses filters unless it's kind of as a joke usually, but otherwise no. No one kind of seriously uses them at all.
What about you for filters?
No, I don't see anybody using them.
Yeah, I don't either. So maybe that time has passed. So I guess a good look at fads that go up and come down. Somebody will create some sort of software that will add on some filters at some point, I'm sure. But I guess in some ways I do miss some of the things that were in the past. It was a lot more work. It was more expensive for sure and a little less convenient than having the camera on your phone. But there was just something about having those physical pictures and everybody crowded around looking at them. That was always fun to do. So I don't know, maybe a push on this one. I think we've missed some stuff, but yeah, the convenience, especially if you're kind of smart about it, you can really do some amazing things with your cameras that are built into the phones nowadays. So that's it. If you have any thoughts or memories or anything you'd like to share, please do. Leave us any comment, hit a like if you thought this was worth your time. And that's all we have for today. So thank you for listening to the Gen X Dad and his Gen Z teens. Bye.